I can't believe this is right, but it is right, folks. And I hope we know why Caitlin Clark got that T now, right?
It's still early in the season, but a troubling pattern from last year has already resurfaced, and it demands attention.
Another year and another case of WNBA referees dropping the ball, not making the right calls when it comes to Caitlin Clark.
WNBA players are already testing the limits with the league's biggest star, Caitlin Clark. And disturbingly, just like last season, the officials are turning a blind eye. We're seeing the same troubling pattern. Clear contact is being ignored, and worse, Caitlin is being penalized when she reacts. That's right. She's getting called for fouls simply for speaking up after taking obvious hits. Last season, she endured constant physical play, elbows, body checks, you name it. And the refs treated it like it was all part of the game. Now it's happening again. And this isn't just about one player. This is a trend that should alarm the entire WNBA. It's not only unfair to Caitlin, but it also threatens the success of the Indiana Fever and could damage the league's credibility and growth. Let's break down the latest sequence of events that has fans and analysts fired up and seriously concerned for Caitlin Clark's safety and future in the league.
New year, Caitlin Clark still getting assaulted though, bruh.
It's wild that even before the regular season has officially tipped off, Caitlin Clark is already taking hard hits. And once again, the refs are doing nothing about it. Sound familiar? That's because it's a repeat of what happened last season. Every time Caitlin drove to the basket, she got bumped, shoved, elbowed, and hacked, yet the whistle stayed silent. It was as if the officials forgot what a foul looked like whenever she hit the floor. And this wasn't some isolated incident. It turned into a consistent, troubling pattern.
Like even in the playoffs last year, do we not remember when Caitlin Clark is shooting a layup and she's in the air and Marina Mabrey commits a block, a hit on the arm, everything. She just comes late and is like, Caitlin's not getting a layup. Jumps sideways into her, takes her arms out, knocks Caitlin on the ground, and then stops because she knows she's fouled, and the referees are like, play on, play on.
There are honestly so many examples, it's hard to fit them all into one video. It reached a point where you could see Caitlin was visibly shaken by the constant physical abuse she was enduring.
That's just basketball at the end of the day. No, that's never gonna change. I'm never gonna lose that. I feel like I'm getting hammered. I don't know. I appreciate Christy getting a tech too. Like, I don't know.
But the foul that truly stood out, the moment that captured just how out of control things had gotten, was the hit from Kennedy Carter.
Jumper is good. Kennedy Carter now with 12.
It was an off-ball foul. No play on the ball, no basketball move, just a blatant body check that sent Caitlin flying. And somehow, it wasn't even ruled a flagrant, just a common foul. Seriously, if that's not a flagrant, what is? That moment became the flashpoint for the entire conversation. Fans were already frustrated with the lack of protection, but this took things to another level. And if you were angry watching it unfold from home, just imagine how Caitlin must have felt in the middle of it. Players are going to go at Caitlin Clark hard. She's a star, the best player on the court, and that kind of attention comes with the territory. That's not the issue. The problem is when opponents start crossing the line and there's no accountability. That's why the Fever brought in players like Sophie Cunningham and veteran leaders like Duwana Bonner, athletes who aren't afraid to push back when things get physical. And already, we're starting to see glimpses of that toughness.
People here in a real home court advantage.
We also assumed things would get better, that the league would adjust, that officiating would improve. After everything Caitlin brought to the table, record-breaking ratings, sold-out arenas, jersey sales through the roof, you'd think the WNBA would recognize her value and make protecting her a priority, or at the very least ensure more consistent officiating. Because players taking cheap shots is one thing, but when the officials turn a blind eye while the face of the league gets knocked around, that's how you lose casual fans and risk alienating the very player driving your growth. We'll get into the bigger picture in a moment, but first, let's break down the game that sparked this latest wave of outrage.
Jersey is Chatoy Walker-Kimbrough was talking to the official about the ref. Caitlin Clark on the deck.
Once again, Caitlin Clark took hard contact with no calls. Refs completely swallowed their whistles every time she touched the ball. Like physicality is just part of the Caitlin tax. She gets bumped, hit, knocked off balance, and nothing. No protection. No deterrent. No message that this kind of play won't be tolerated. It's almost as if the officials are daring her to speak up, because when she does, she's the one who gets hit with a technical. It's the same story as last season, only this time it's happening earlier, and it's even more obvious.
Like, Paupa's literally holding her, 2 hands holding her jersey. It's not even hand checking. Holding her jersey with 2 hands. And the ref's not calling anything.
Let that sink in. Caitlin Clark, the biggest target on the floor, got hacked all game and didn't shoot a single free throw. Not one trip to the line, not even on clear, obvious contact. Either the refs are missing everything, or they're sending a message early. It's open season on Caitlin Clark. And no, that's not an exaggeration. She literally had 0 free throws.
It is kind of interesting that Caitlin Clark hasn't been to the free throw line at all.
Let that sink in. Caitlin Clark, the most targeted player on the court, took hits all game and didn't get a single trip to the free throw line. Not one. Even with clear, undeniable contact. Either the officials aren't seeing it, or they're sending a loud message early. It's open season on Caitlin Clark.
Caitlin Clark in the preseason, 29 points with 0 free throw attempts. What is happening?
Fans were furious, and they made sure the league heard them loud and clear. Outrage erupted across the internet, especially on X, where users didn't hold back in calling out the officiating. One fan slammed the league, posting, at WNBA, "Are you going to hold your refs accountable for all these on-site calls this year, or just let them be clueless as usual?" Another captured the mood perfectly. The WNBA refs just used the no autopsy, no foul philosophy after a player hit the floor. The message was clear. This isn't just about Caitlin Clark. It's about the integrity of the entire game. And fans didn't stop at venting. They brought receipts. They did the math and pointed out the obvious. Something doesn't add up. While Caitlin was getting hacked with no calls, other stars across the league were already racking up multiple trips to the free throw line.
Somebody had pointed out how many frickin' free throw attempts she's had. I think it's 30 in the preseason. Caitlin Clark hadn't gotten one damn foul called in her favor that would have put her to the line. Are you kidding me right now? I don't understand what is going on.
It didn't feel like a coincidence. It felt targeted. And now, fans are starting to say it out loud. And just like clockwork, Caitlin's frustration began to show.
On a 10-3, make it 12-3 run, as they are now just down 1 point.
She ended up picking up a technical foul for showing her frustration after yet another missed call. It got so bad, Sophie Cunningham had to step in and try to calm things down. I mean, it's only preseason, and the refs are already in peak 2024 form. But Caitlin's response, pure cinema.
Step back triple.
That step back 3, a statement. You knock her down. She'll knock down a triple in response. Caitlin doesn't need to retaliate with cheap shots. She just needs the ball and an inch of space. That's how she answers back. And it wasn't just Caitlin taking the hits. The whole team was getting battered. You'd see it in their body language. Players getting bumped, grabbed, hacked, and still, no whistles. The physicality wasn't just intense, it was borderline reckless at times. This didn't feel like typical preseason energy. It felt personal.
Now, on that same play where Ryan Howard does create contact with Caitlin Clark, DeWanna Bonner also gets fouled. It is not called. That definitely should have been called. And I mean, I don't know. And the Indiana Fever don't have the best whistle. They didn't have a good whistle last season. I thought the whistle would definitely get better because everyone is putting the refs on notice. And I think that they know that they're going to be heavily scrutinized in any Indiana Fever game. I do think that they have to pay extra attention and definitely make sure when there's a foul that it is called, because it doesn't seem like that's going that direction just yet.
It really doesn't look like the Fever are getting any calls. It's as if the refs brought their whistles but decided to keep them tucked in their pockets for fun. Players are getting hacked, shoved, even bulldozed, and still, nothing. No fouls, no free throws, just indifferent shrugs. At some point, it stops being letting them play and starts looking a lot more like negligence.
There are freedom of movement rules. And then Ryan Howard plows through Caitlin. Caitlin goes up straight, like, no call. Or sorry, foul on Caitlin. And then I saw other times where players were literally just hacking and getting away with it. Genuinely hacking.
And that brings us to a bigger issue. This isn't just about Caitlin Clark, and it's not just about the fever. It's about the officiating across the board.
WNBA, no ifs, ands, or buts about it, has a severe refereeing problem. And obviously, look, when anything happens with Caitlin Clark, more light is brought to it. But it was really bad. Like, it was really, really bad watching the game yesterday. And it happens always.
The quality of WNBA officiating is under serious scrutiny right now. Too many missed calls, too many inconsistent whistles, and far too little accountability. When it happens to the league's biggest draw, people notice. But the truth is, it's impacting the entire game. Even Caitlin's father, Brent Clark, weighed in during an ESPN interview at the Brazil game. When asked for his thoughts on the WNBA, he didn't hold back.